Hey guys, welcome to this edition of Trish Stanley TV. Today we're going to be talking on the topic Crowning Glory, Understanding Hair Loss in Black Women. We have our wonderful co-host, which is Dr. Alicia Green, and our wonderful guest, Belinda Baker. You do not want to miss this episode. Stay tuned.
Trish Stanley TV show.
Hey guys, welcome to this edition of Trish Stanley TV. I have a wonderful guest for you guys on today on an awesome topic, a much needed topic. But before I introduce my guest, I have to welcome once again my girlfriend here on the set, Dr. Alicia Green. I say anybody who earns a doctorate, they're going to be called doctor always by me, because that is a task.
Yes,
it's a task.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for coming and agreeing and hanging out with me to co-host this beautiful guest who you knew already.
Who knew?
We just three pretty girls sitting on the set. None other than Belinda Baker. You are a master. Well, I don't want to introduce you. I want you to introduce yourself, but you are a master in the area of hair loss, especially among Black women. But if you will share your history and add on there why you decided hair loss as your expertise area.
Yes. Well, as a master cosmetologist, colorist, and now a scalp and hair therapist, my love for it just came from there's a spirit to beauty.
Yes.
And when I connected with that spirit, it led me into wanting to take what God gave me as a gift and the talent, and then add the knowledge behind it in order to help women find that space where they're comfortable in their skin, in their beauty, whether that's with hair or without hair, you know? And so I just did the math and just realized I've been in the industry 40 years.
Wow.
I know. I'm still 27.
That's right.
And you look 27. You know, look.
just happened to have 3 daughters, happened to have 7 grandchildren. That's just, a byproduct, but I thoroughly enjoy it today the same way I did when I first got in it years ago.
Yes.
And just being able to speak, God has his funny sense of humor. My ministry is behind the chair. And so what that allows me to do is actually welcome in ladies, gentlemen, girls, boys, into an environment where when they sit in the chair and they bring those challenges that may affect the hair, affect the scalp, realizing that they're joined. And this is what led me to the hair loss track, was realizing that hair can only be hair if the scalp is taken care of.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And once that clicked for me, that's when, I went back to get my certification in trichology to understand it at a deeper level than just even the master cosmetologist level.
Okay.
So that I could connect those dots to empower women, men, boys, and girls to be able to know what track they could take if they were having challenges.
Okay.
And that's just been, it's been a joy since going into that arena.
And if I may, and you spoke about trichology, I have a couple of questions. I'm so super excited to see you. And we're talking about this topic because I feel it's so needed, especially in today's society. People looking at beauty in certain ways, the perspective, the outlook surrounding beauty. So what are your thoughts on the difference of being a master beautician versus a trichologist?
That's a very good question. And one that's really needed to be explained out a little bit, because there are a lot of stylists who will venture into the arena of saying, I treat hair loss. But that's like a podiatrist that handles general care versus a specialty doctor,
Absolutely.
like a podiatrist that can treat your that has specialized training that allows them to see things, naturally within that. So a trichologist falls in that line. Your master cosmetologist has a certain amount of hours that covers the general area of beauty, hair, skin, nails. But when you go to trichology school, what it does is it breaks that down into micro elements to where you now understand what are some of the root causes, how then to treat those causes, and how then to connect with the other entities that help the regrowing of the hair and or analyzing whether or not it's even possible.
Right.
So that takes you just to a whole nother specialty area as opposed to just being a master cosmetologist.
And with that being said, what are some of the challenges that you now have seen? As you can see, I rock the beautiful ball.
As you can.
I love it.
You know, I tell you
bald,
all the time.
I love it.
And I appreciate it, but it wasn't something that I chose. It chose me. And with that challenge that I had, what are some of the challenges that you see mainly that are feeding into the hair loss? The only word I can think, situation that we have
Epidemic.
going. Epidemic.
Yes.
It is an epidemic.
Yes.
And people may think, oh wow, an epidemic, but it really is an epidemic. Especially, I think my viewpoint, and this is just me, amongst women of color. So I know that you see a lot of different clients, and what is the main challenge that you see people going through that contributes, or something that they're doing that they shouldn't be doing that is contributing to the epidemic?
Right. Well, I'll start with the fact that you have two forms of alopecia. And that is whether or not it's caused by stress, trauma. So that track is something that there's a trigger that causes your body to start having challenges. And so then the hair becomes a part of that result of your body now being traumatized. Versus the other is hormonal.
Yes.
The hormonal progression, that could be genetic from birth.
Yes.
And so there's not anything you can do about that, right?
Menopause.
Menopause and post-menopause. A lot of people really don't even think about. Because menopause doesn't happen in a year or 2 years. It's a distance run, right? And everybody is different.
I just entered the race, so I don't know. You telling me I got to deal with this for?
I'm so sorry. Thank you for the fan. But everybody's different.
Okay.
And so I couldn't tell you what to expect. At least she couldn't tell you. Dr. Liz, she couldn't tell you what to expect, because your body, and based on how you've treated your body, and based on how you've dealt with life, the worries, the stress, and all of that, determines the process by which you'll go through that menopause. And then you get to post. That's a whole nother monster.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That's a whole nother show we need to talk about.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So the process pre, during, and post have different elements to it. And a lot of people really don't know that. And so that's one of the areas in the salon that we really kind of talk about, where you may be in that track, which will determine what our protocols will be that we place in place. The other thing is inflammation.
Oh, yes.
One of the big stressors to hair loss is underlying inflammation that has gone unchecked. And in some cases for years. And it can cause some really devastating effects because it's just not been addressed.
What are some of the things that bring about inflammation? Because that's what I have having alopecia. I have alopecia areata. And when I did go to a trichologist, that was something that they said my scalp was so inflamed. Now, I know what I did, right? And I shouldn't have done.
What did you do? I mean, because enlighten us, because there's somebody out there who's probably doing the same thing.
Well, when I started to notice my hair loss, of course, I covered it up.
You covered it up.
I covered it up. And so instead of seeking someone with knowledge like Miss Belinda, which I should have, and that's why this topic is so amazing, because I'm glad now that master beauticians are getting the knowledge, the trichology knowledge, and adding that to their resume, because it's so important. If someone would have told me, Dr. Elisa, although I wasn't Dr. Elisa back then, Dr. Elisa, Dr. Green, your scalp is inflamed. Let's lay off on putting any track in your hair, any color in your hair.
Any oil, I learned, is an issue too, with it's inflamed.
Yes, let's keep your scalp clean, and although protective styles are fabulous, but you have to know, from my perspective and just my experience, when to say, okay, I'm going to let my scalp rest, and now I'll put a protective style in there. But my scalp was so inflamed, and to the point where I had the patches that came about with the alopecia, my hair follicles had died. So that is where I had decided to just go totally bald, because I said I was told my hair would never grow back because my follicles were dead. And I know you touched on that. If you are able to have your hair grow back, then you give your clients the knowledge.
Yes.
And I know you have mentees. I know your mentees. Can I touch on your mentees? I know your mentees are just elated to have you by their side. I can just imagine.
I love it. I love it. What God has given me is not for me. It's for me to share.
Yes.
And so the passion of educating has been there as well.
Yes.
Years. Director of Education for Design Essentials for 18 years, traveling the world, teaching and training trainers how to be educators as well, right?
Yes.
Working as a consultant with product companies, teaching them how to bring on licensed cosmetologists that would help them give proper information on how to use their products. And then all of the mentees along the way that have come through the tutelage and the education, and even at the salon, that's the way it's actually set up, is a education-centered environment. And the clients even, they love it, because as their hair is being serviced, their scalp is being serviced, they're also learning as they hear the information being shared. And so it's a giving environment with
Can
that.
I share because for me, I'm experienced hair loss. I was locked for 18 years. And so I'm like, doctor, I had no choice but to cut. And it was partly because I believe now in hindsight, part of it was menopause, but it was also a medication that I was put on at that time. But why is it that when you go to, like, say, your medical doctor or even your hairstylist, the first person they refer you to is a dermatologist? Why are they not? Because I didn't hear about I can't say the word, trichologist until you and I had the conversation. And so when she told me that's who you need to go and see, that's what I went and did. I listened to her. She told me go do it. I did it. So why is that you guys are not the first to be referred to versus dermatologists? In my experience with the dermatologist, no dish to her, I feel like I was just put on the same medicine everybody else who was experiencing issue was put on.
It's sad that we had to catch up with what the need was, because the epidemic brought it to the forefront, right? And mainstream caught on. And when mainstream caught on, now there was validation given to it when we knew there was a problem beforehand. So that's again another show, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that master cosmetologists were not trained
Okay.
in basic school to be able to identify true scalp disorders that lead to hair loss.
Okay.
The disease now they're going back. Actually, one of my mentees is actually just got her education certification. She now is going to be in the beauty college as well as being in the
good.
salon.
Good.
And so what we've seen now is that the epidemic has brought it to the forefront.
Yes.
And so now they're going back in and they're now teaching more on the disease and the disorders and how to recognize those things so that we're equipped.
Yeah.
One of the classes I took was with Kai Smith, and Kai Smith started the American Association for Hair Loss as a school.
Okay.
Sister, powerful,
That
powerful,
sounds real familiar to me.
powerful. And so what I love her slogan is that we should be the first defenders.
Yes.
That's right.
Because we see your hair.
Yes.
That's right.
You don't see your hair.
Yes.
You go in the salon and you're sitting there and the stylist sees everything,
Everything.
that's happening. Why would that stylist not be equipped to say to you, Trish, we got a problem.
Right.
We need to address this.
Right.
That's right.
Dr. Elise, we got a problem.
Absolutely.
We need to address it. So now we're understanding we need to go back and reorganize this to the stylist being that first offender to be able to speak to the client and then know where and how those next steps should be. And then the trichologist, stylists should have a trichologist on speed dial.
I agree.
I agree.
Bottom line.
I agree.
I should be able to call and say, this is beyond my scope, right? If I am not a trichologist, but I have one that I would definitely refer you to.
That's right.
And therefore you go and let them be able to put a protocol together. And here's the
they work
deal.
together.
And we
That's
work
right.
together.
Yeah,
Yes.
work together.
We work together. You don't
That's
lose
right.
a client. You actually
Yes.
gain
Yes.
a loyal
Yes,
client.
ma'am.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going down with you.
Exactly.
I'm going down with you.
Exactly. But I think it's a mentality shift that has to happen with
Yes.
stylists. Look at a trichologist as a teammate instead of, competition. Because it's not.
Absolutely.
I was just going to throw this in there because I'm not the expert on this at all, but the whole climate of the beauty salon nowadays is so different from
Girl.
what it used to be.
Yes.
And so, and I say on this show all the time, we got to go back and reach our girls because
Yes.
we've had a decade and a half of where wretchedness was it. It was in.
It was.
So they don't understand what being soft is. They don't understand what being ladylike and being professional on a certain level, what it looks like. So I love that you're going back
Yes.
and trying to capture a remnant of that group of people. But I also sometimes feel like this epidemic was on purpose. I feel like we were guinea pigged on it because I don't know if it was like I said, I was locked for 18 years. So I can't say it was a perm, but I did get permanent color. So is it something that was in the color? Because this is a serious epidemic with our sisters right now with hair loss.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
To your point, I have so much.
Oh, would you please share?
But I having worked as a consultant with distribution networks. Okay. I've seen what happens in the boardroom. I've sat across the table with the CEOs and those that are developing products for our hair, right? And that whole process needs a change.
Revamp. Yeah.
Absolutely. That if you're developing a product for a certain people, then the clinical part of that should be for those people.
That's right.
That's right.
And the results should not be adjusted to fit the 75,000 that you just put out that you now need to recruit if it doesn't work.
Right.
That's right.
Let me just say that, right? And so, unfortunately, because we knew enough about what products we needed that we used what was available.
Right.
But what was available was not always in our best interest. And so, unfortunately, there have been years where we've been using those products. For instance, relaxers, 90% of us that did a relaxer, got a relaxer, and it burned, it was because we were allergic.
Ooh, that was me.
Because I burn too.
Not because we taught ourselves, girl, you know, if it don't burn, it ain't working.
It's not working.
Sit over there.
That's right.
Let me know when you can't take it.
Yeah.
What foolishness is that?
Right.
It is burning you.
Right.
But we were taught that. We were taught that as stylists. And we passed it on to our clients because we knew this product was going to burn every time you got it.
Wow.
We based it. We did all of these precautionary things. But at the end of the day, we were burning layers of skin
Yes.
off our
That
head
is-
every 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Some every 4.
Yeah.
Some touching up the edges. What is a
Yes.
spot relaxer?
Yes.
Around the edges?
Yes.
And you're doing that every 2 weeks. And you're taking off layers of skin. And we wonder why the hair bulb that's underneath these layers of skin that's been compromised is compromised.
Yeah.
So the hair's not going to grow the same.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's not.
And that is so interesting because I'm having a flashback right now. As far as, is it burning? Oh, if it's not burning, it's not working. Then when it starts to burn, it would melt
Yes.
onto my scalp. Then
Absolutely.
you have sores
Yes. Sores.
in your head.
Absolutely.
How could that be?
It was not healthy.
It was not healthy.
It was not healthy.
It was just not
But
healthy.
to your point, Trish, we were victimized
Yes.
by what was thought to be normal. We were
were told it
brainwashed.
was- yes.
We were
to
brainwashed
think
to think
it was
that
normal.
Yes.
to do so.
And I will remember working with a particular company in the labs, recognizing this is not right, pulling back even in my salon to where I stopped doing relaxers before natural hair became
Wow.
cool.
Okay.
I haven't been doing relaxers for years. My clients that thought that they needed it, I would do a texturizer, which is just a gentle product put on just long enough to break the base so that I could manipulate the hair for control.
Right.
That's what we were using relaxers for,
Yeah.
to control our hair,
Right.
Yeah.
not to burn our skin off.
Yeah.
So as a result, I have clients that have grown headfuls of hair
Oh,
where they were not able to grow hair before.
that's amazing.
It really is.
It really is.
I praise God for it. But I had to
Absolutely.
step down from that consulting position because I no longer believed in relaxers. So how could I stand on a stage advocating for a relaxer company?
Right.
My integrity would not allow me. And not that I had anything against them. It was that I shifted. And when you know better, you
do better.
You do
better.
better.
Yeah.
And I started sharing that with other stylists that this is
Right.
not a good thing. There's not a need to burn these clients repeatedly so often.
Right.
Let the scalp heal itself and
Right.
be healthy, and then you can produce healthy hair.
So now let me ask you this. I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead.
Really quick on while we're talking about the perm. When I did used to have get perms, when it was time for the next, it was coming close to get the retouch, is that what they call it? Why would my scalp, it would go into an itch frenzy?
Yes.
And I would always say, oh, I feel like my scalp is addicted to that. And I guess that's why they call it crack. White,
Yes.
crack.
Yes, creamy crack.
Yeah, creamy crack. But my scalp would just, that would be, I'm like, it's time to get a perm. This is the worst time to scratch. But it would go crazy with the
Yes.
itching.
Yes. It was that your hair, which was underneath the layer of skin, was curling.
Oh.
And as it comes up through the hair follicle in a curled or C form, you feel the growth.
Right.
You
Yes.
feel it starting to protrude through. We have trained ourselves to think that was itching
Oh.
versus stimulation. So what should happen then is you should have shampooed your hair, blow dried your hair, and not relaxed it again.
Wow.
Wow. How about that? You see the knowledge? Let me tell you something. I could have been able to put my hair in a ponytail right now if I would have had that knowledge back then.
Well, if we had known.
We didn't know.
And had I not been very fortunate to be a consultant working in the lab with the chemists, developing products,
Right.
helping them to see pros and cons to it, systematically, not saying, oh, well, how did that work? But we kept ledgers. Each client would be on a clinical trial basis and rotation. So these were actual clinical studies to show what was happening, right? And what should or should not happen. So as we started evolving and learning, we learned better. And so we could pass that on to stylists.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So what? So say someone makes they're referred to you because, or to one of your mentees, they're referred to you because they have an issue. They have maybe some thinning going on in the crown of their head. What does them coming in your office, what does that look like? What is the process, and how do you determine what remedy or program to put them on?
That's first and foremost, we have to determine whether or not you have a diagnosis.
Okay.
As a trichologist, I am not licensed to diagnose you.
Okay.
Only a dermatologist could do that.
Absolutely.
And so I highly suggest for stylists that they form a relationship with a dermatologist that is sensitive to what the needs are for, women with hair thinning and hair loss. And they're not going to automatically put you on minoxidil, Rogaine, or some remedy without really checking out where your thinness may be stemming from. So that's number one. So we're working in conjunction with the dermatologist, right?
Okay.
And then number two, we have to then determine whether or not your diagnosis says that you are on a reactionary track or you're on a hormonal track.
Okay.
Those are two different protocol elements that will happen. Once we determine that, right, now we start to talk about products that you should and should not use.
Okay.
So you're going to get a protocol sheet that is going to tell you the products that we would suggest for you, how often we would recommend you to come in for the protocol within the salon.
Okay.
Are you getting the treatments in the salon, or are you going to do your topicals at home?
Okay.
What tools may you need as well, whether that's your red light therapy, whether or not that's hydration or steam. Some of these, and it really depends on also your financial commitment that you can make towards the track. But it all stems with recognizing whether or not you can or cannot grow back the hair. What are we going to do together? What do you want to do? What would we suggest? And how does that then, play out long term? And we really stress hair thinning and hair loss recovery is not just an external thing with a shampoo and a drop and conditioning. It's also an internal aspect. So we make a commitment to have relationships with nutritionists. I do believe in holistic measures first and foremost.
Yes.
I know we've
go
talked
that
about
route.
Yes, we've talked about that. Yes.
Because if your lifestyle is not going to change,
Right.
and you're still ingesting high processed foods, if you're still working in an extremely stressful lifestyle and part of your alopecia or thinning may be diagnosed as that, and so you're going to need to change some of the behaviors that may be leading to the thinness or the hair loss. And so it really takes about an hour, that consultation, and we dig a little deep. And so your questionnaire may seem intrusive, but it's to help get a better understanding of what are we dealing with.
What's going on.
Yeah, what's going on?
And in a lot of cases, it's almost like therapy for the person, because as they're answering the questions, they're like, their bells ringing off like, I didn't even think about that. I wasn't,
I go back even here on this set. I'll go back and look at old footage of where, Dre may have gotten me from the back. I'm sitting here and he'll show like some behind the scenes or whatever, and I see this specific area that started thinning. I could see it then. I couldn't see it, in that moment then. But in hindsight, I saw it, and I really, really, really wish that my loctician at that time would have really pressed me to go and thank God I had her to have a conversation with. But I really wish my loctician would have said, look, go and try this, or go see the Now I did go see the dermatologist, and you mentioned that is a good reason to go if you're diagnosed with alopecia. So you need to know that. That's probably why they're referring you there.
Absolutely.
But just to be able to have found someone like you, I had to ask just someone I knew. It's the information is not readily out there. How can we get this information out there, in your opinion?
We need it. We need it. We need it. We need it. It's getting better.
Do people still do hair shows? I mean, like, that's an area where it could be they're not? Okay, see.
Well, we have mainstream hair shows, and there are small remnants of shows coming back. I've seen some networking venues kind of opening back up within the beauty industry. I think that the beauty industry as a whole recognizes we've dropped the ball. And we're not communicating within our own, networks, not the way that we should. I do know that there is a male cosmetology association that is really doing some great things. We've got a makeup studio, and she's kind of bringing in some of the beauty industry, kind of reconnecting Gwyneth Mosby, makeup artist studio in Tucker. But it really needs to be almost like a directory.
It does.
That, and I'm going to say it, people have to be vetted.
They have to be vetted. Thank you.
That they have to be vetted.
They have to be vetted. And if I may, just being in the community and being a person who does have alopecia, bald woman, when I first was diagnosed and I went bald, there was no one. There was nothing out there. And not just organizations. I am so thankful for the organizations that are out there. But I call myself an awareness advocate for alopecia, because we have to bring about the awareness, and you have to have the advocacy there behind that awareness for alopecia. We can all come together and celebrate, but we all have to come together and be able to educate. And that is where I feel the community does not do. I feel our community needs to educate more on the causes of alopecia, our culture in general. Because I was going to ask you what are your thoughts about the direction and where our culture needs to go to heal or start healing from this epidemic? Because we have all of these young, beautiful girls out there and young men. And alopecia now is not just hitting it's hitting every all cultures, all ethnicities, if you will. And so the education is so important. And they do need to be vetted, because there are some out there and the intentions aren't the intentions aren't honorable. I'll just use that. Right. The intentions aren't honorable, and we need that education, that knowledge. I feel our culture definitely needs that. So what are your thoughts around that? Where do you think our culture needs to go to start that healing process?
Beauty is important. And so it should not take precedence over being healthy. And that's, I think, one of the levels where we need to start speaking that more as what beauty is, overall. Whether it's social media, whether that's in our small groups, whether that's, to our daughters, to young women and men, they're beautiful just as they are. And that the enhancement should enhance you.
Right.
It should not overpower you.
Yes, ma'am.
It
Or
should
harm
not
you.
or harm you. Right.
Yes.
And so that's number one. And then number two, for us to stand on the integrity that cosmetologists do no harm. Don't do harm just to make money.
Right.
Understand that when you are touching someone, you are giving them life
Yes.
Yes.
or death. And death, whether it's one hair follicle at a time or by how you treat them in their customer care, just your integrity has to come to the forefront on everything that you do. The other thing is that I feel like salons, you know, we've changed a lot.
A lot.
Yes.
Some old school is some good school. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it can't just be, again, just money driven with no integrity. Not going back and learning. You know, I'm prayerful that our legislation will require us to have continued education.
Yes.
I'm an advocate for that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you are not keeping up with what's happening out here, you're using products that have lethal weapons in them
That's
to
right.
take hair out, like we're seeing the relaxer lawsuits that are going on right now. People who knew but chose to turn the other way.
Yeah.
So culturally, braids, weaves, wigs are beautiful.
Yes, they are.
They're beautiful. But they do not take away what's happening underneath that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
Yes.
Starting with the stylist, when you see a problem, speak up. To the clients, knowing that, hey, if you do see a problem, seek out a professional. And for us to share that information willingly with each other so that we know those people. And now I'm feeling convicted. I'm feeling convicted to try to start some directory or something
Go
where
on, that's your burden.
Yes,
Go for it.
Go.
you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
a place
Yes.
where you can come to
Yes.
and know.
That it is so needed. I'm telling you, when that happened to me, I felt like I was the only
an island.
person. I was on an island.
Yeah.
Like I was the only person in the world. There was no one else out there. And then when I started to get more into the community, it was the education piece that was definitely missing. So I started to educate myself because I had to educate myself on taking care of my scalp, on educate myself on the foods that I eat.
Yes.
Because even with me having alopecia, I still have hair growth that comes in the stubble, the hair bumps, things like that come with shaving every day.
Absolutely.
And it can harm your scalp in shaving every day.
Yes.
So I started to educate myself, you know, on those things. And I feel a directory, I challenge you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your charge.
That is your charge. That is your charge. I'm telling you, I will be the biggest advocate for that directory.
Yes. And make sure you start on that before this airs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying don't let nobody else take your charge.
Don't let anybody else take your charge. You
No.
are the perfect person
Yes.
to do that.
Your mannerisms, the way you deliver, you're very soft spoken,
Yes.
and especially like she said, when you're on an island or you feel like you're on an island by yourself, you're like, and we can say it all day long, but us as women, we do hold our hair. The Word of God says that our hair is our glory. It's our glory, men. Our glory.
Yes.
Not y'all's. Not how you want to see our hair, but it's our glory. And so that has always been something that we found that added to our beauty.
Right.
Yes.
Only until we had to find out that, okay, well, I'm still beautiful without this hair, or or with breast removal. You know, that we identify as women with certain things, but we've got to get beyond that. We have to talk to our girls. We have to talk and inspire each other to the point where we're like, you're beautiful. This girl right here is gorgeous. And I know she gets embarrassed, but she is gorgeous. And so to know that she struggled, and I'm like, girl, why was you struggling? But I get it. I get it. I get it now because I'm having hair loss issues. So I definitely get it now. But yeah, I mean, we need you. We need you. Because, like you said, there is an epidemic, and we gotta get busy. But we only have a few minutes left, and I want to leave you with closing words. But I also want you, after her, to come and just kind of inspire and encourage. You can either encourage the beauticians to go and get this added education or partnering, or encourage a woman who's going through hair loss right now. But I want you to kind of close out and just give a snippet of where you were when you were on that island to who you are now, doctor.
Oh my gosh! When I was on that island, there was no one around. I was very I didn't have any confidence at all. Wow. I kept wearing hats. I scarves. I didn't want to step out, and of course, when I went to New York and threw my wig up in Times Square, that was my free moment.
I love it.
That was me. And I look at some of those pictures back then, and I'm like, wow, that was a different Elisa. Even being bald, now I am very confident because I educated myself and I believe in myself. And when I walk into a room, I know that comes through because I know who I am now. I had a young lady, and I'll make this short. A young lady asked me, "Have you always been bald?" I said, "No." She said, "My gosh, that is you. Like you were born to be bald." I was like, "Born to be bald?" Well, okay.
It just meant you wear it very well.
I said, okay, but I understand what she was saying, and that's where I'm at now. And having great people around me, such as yourself, Belinda, and definitely my girl here, Trish. She is amazing. And just having those connections and knowing that you can be yourself and be authentic, even though you don't have hair, right? And I do make jokes. I make ponytail jokes. I make clip jokes all the time because I know who I am, and it doesn't require anyone else's input to get me to that confidence point anymore. But it took time to get there. It took time.
And it would have probably been even faster if you had someone like her in your space.
Don't you know? It would have been much quicker. So, well, you already have your charge. I do. Yes, ma'am. I do.
So I gladly take that charge.
Yes, good. We're going to check on you too. But yeah, just go ahead and inspire the ladies out there who may be losing hair, or even speak to the professionals in your industry and kind of tighten them up, or speak to both, if you will.
Okay. Well, I would definitely say to women specifically, because that's the genre that I really niche into. First and foremost, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. That false evidence appearing real is keeping you from being able to align yourself up with what may be able to help you through that process. And you don't have to do it alone. You do not have to do it alone. Myself, and as well as some of the network of people I know, we can connect you up with someone who can be that advocate with you, for yourself, to first and foremost find out what's happening. That's the first step. Let's find out what's happening. And then two, let's talk about what can be done and what products and tools will help you to get there. And then I just encourage you that beauty is an inner and an outer avenue, okay? So work on self-care, self-love. That is the highest form of love you can give yourself. And we need to start there when we start talking about beauty. Hair loss is one aspect. It requires a full range of professionals to kind of help walk you through, but you're not at it alone. There are trichologists out there that would love to partner with you. And then for the stylists, let's up our game. It's time. Let's up our game. Let's become and be that resource center that people who are having hair and scalp challenges need us to be. It's time. And when we do that, we fill this gap that has created a void, that's opened the Pandora's box for an epidemic. Let's close it.
Yes.
We can do that. And so that's what I want to leave you with. Cosmetologists, let's step up our game. Anyone experiencing thinning or hair loss, you're not at it alone. There are trichologists that are willing and ready to partner with you. Okay?
Yes.
That's excellent.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. I'd like to thank my guest today, none other than Belinda Baker. She is an amazing woman to just even have a conversation with, but she also has the right demeanor. Being someone who is battling hair loss myself, just being able to have that soft essence of a person feed and pour into you and encourage and inspire you. And I just love her spirit around this particular sensitive topic. I also have to thank my co-host, my girl, Dr. Alicia Green, for coming on and sitting down and sharing her experience as well in the particular area of hair loss. As we stated on the show, there is a heightened epidemic among us Black women in this country when it's dealing with hair loss. And so, ladies, as soon as you find something out, do your research, go to the doctors. If you don't know, hit us up here, DM me. I will try to connect you with Belinda Baker so that she can be a source for you in your journey as well. Before we head off on today's episode, I have to leave this quote from Viola Davis. She said it best herself. The privilege of being a Black woman is we are born with a crown that we can shape and redefine as often as we like. And I still believe that whether you have hair, whether it's no hair, or whether it's someone else's hair you have sitting on your head, we still adorn our crown. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, love isn't love unless you give it away.
This is the place